signing mode. For signing's PM tomorrow, one of the things I was going to talk about is how I wasn't very interesting, and how one of the things I didn't want to have happen last year was I didn't want to lose her. In one of the emails I wrote something like, I no longer have any help for you because I ran out of MCAT help. And one of the things I was afraid of was her finding out that I'm just a uninteresting guy, and that the only interesting stuff I had going on with my life back then was, you know, this weird thing I was doing with Saeed, and then Saeed tells me she's a female, and it's kind of like I got to like stage whatever on, you know, the dating and relationships game, but I knew that I didn't even deserve to get like to the stage, you know, 2 stages before that, and better to just like call my games and cash in my games rather than you know, turn it into a negative experience. And I hope Sang kind of forgives me about it, because in the PM she's getting tomorrow, she's going to be able to read the thing about me talking to Lulu about how me and Steph are over, and then I'm going to become friends with Sang again. And also, I can't wait to just give Sang updates about how much I've learned just about women and about people. And like, women love it the most whenever they experience something and think about how much you had to like reverse engineer their experience, so that way once they experience it, they know that you put a lot of thought and planning into like creating the in other words, you can't just give someone an experience, but whenever someone experiences something you give them, they really appreciate how much sophistication went into your ideas and thoughts, and it also makes them realize that, you know, you actually care about their feelings and their experiences, and they really learn that you're you know, you think beyond yourself. Even if you're still selfish, at least you have the capacity to think about someone else and their perspectives and whatnot. Back to Mr. Fleecier. His brain is fried right now. If he finds out that I was like drinking beer and was like, you know, taking my medication with beer and became a jabbermouth, and he's like, no, I knew it. Jeez, nobody ever made me feel that way. But he's very. That's the thing I like most about. He asked me this long setup, and the answer was intent, and I felt so good. Like, you know, at least I'm a good listener, because I don't know if you listen to me. Oh, one of the things he said was about, I'd love to win trial. I think everybody hates losing trial, and nobody hates it more than me. And what's good is I can tell about it, he seems like an Indian as far as personality goes, because I'm going to become racist all of a sudden and say, you know, stereotypes exist, and I'm going to just like give Felix Fleecier the Indian stereotype. I wonder if he is Indian. Indian Fleecier. Like, Google's gonna know what I'm talking about. That's like the Google thing I saw on Maddox.x mission. Like, someone typed in, or someone didn't really do it, but he was just making fun of people that type the most random things into Google and expect to get what they want. And one of the things was, I want to see my neighbors naked, and I really respected the humor. But I like how I defended the truth. And what's good is let me brag on him a little bit. What's good was he figured me out, and then he let me have it in that order. During the first part of the phone call, he like began studying me, and you know, he tried to figure out what's the best. In other words, what's so great is I really do study the other person and listen while I'm like rambling and going out on whatever. And I could see I couldn't tell he was studying. I just now like realized it. And toward the end, he started. He became rigid because he studied me during the first, I want to say, 20 minutes of the phone call, and then afterward, I realized that he put together a. Well, he didn't even do it consciously. It's just the way he works with people, and it's really effective. It's just he doesn't understand that I can adjust during the phone call. And actually, I would say I won the final 10 minutes. And when I say won, like I don't mean like I made him look bad, but I earned his respect, and I guarantee you the next phone call I'll be able to tell a huge improvement in how he handles me over the phone, and he'll adjust. but the funny thing is, he can't adjust as dynamically, rapidly, and largely as me. And also, the adjustment he makes for me for the next time he talks to me, I'm going to actually get a read on him, figure out his adjustment, and then I'm instantly going to just nullify all his prep. Like that's one of the other things I want to talk about for leadership and learning how to be I wouldn't say a negotiator, but whenever I did a real estate seminar, and me and Keith and David Ezel went $400 each into a $1,200 program, I was the negotiator. But yeah, he's really skillful. He's got good skills as far as he would make an awesome employee. He's extremely good at not necessarily taking control of the situation, but figuring out the situation and then giving himself the best possible role. In other words, he'll learn what is happening, and then he'll figure out what he has to be to best maximize the situation. And I also got the feeling that he actually really did adjust, not to just maximize his standing with me, but it seemed like I could really tell he took leadership and kind of took it on his shoulders to make sure that our phone call went good for both of us. And yeah, I felt that he did a pretty good job at not necessarily managing the situation, but he kind of showed leadership, I'd say. And I'd be pretty. I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about him, except for the fact that he, on one hand, he's being superficial with his knowledge of the law, and every time I try to argue from a pragmatic standpoint about we want to win trial, he'll just argue from he'll just talk about it from a lawyer's perspective, and ignoring the fact that I'm trying to penetrate the jury, and he's not having a conversation with me on the same level of hey, let's just cut out the BS. And I think I even may have said the word superficial during that phone call. I think about it, my memory serves me correctly. I said something like, it's like we're having a superficial conversation because I know that you X. I love that now. My new nickname for Mr. Felicio is, tell me how this X. And he'll always do that whenever X is a fallacy. But who's gonna watch this video? I want to just share it with Mr. Felicio, because at the end of the day, I think we're going to trial, and Mr. Felicio will probably show some of his buddies oh my god. Oh, actually, let me just think, post it on a wall, ZOMG, and then just shout out 12 YouTube links, because it'll be 2 hours. I need to get that epic music. Ah, crap. I actually had my ear up to this, and I thought I heard static, and I was like, well, I didn't hit play yet. And that's good. Yeah, let me just talk about that real quick. A then B, B, A then B, A therefore B. I picked this up and I maximized the Windows Media Player, and I heard static, but you won't hear static unless you play. And yeah, this is just a thinly veiled brag. I'm such a how funny is it, a defendant wants to win conversations and make a good rapport and stuff. And one of the things I talked to my dad about, he asked me if I'm drinking a lot, and I told him the truth that I had to stay awake yesterday an extra 6 hours, so the only thing I could do was drink beer and eat hot wings. I ate 20 wings. I hate burping on beer. That makes me mad. Oh, he also told me that Mr. Means is doing a psyche eval. Maybe